Hey everyone, it's Mobility and Fall Prevention Day. Hopefully our morning is going great and it's about to get even better. So we want to make sure that we have two weights today of the same weight. We do have an option if we want to go medium. Probably medium. So we're going to be doing some goblet squat thrusters where we press overhead, but we don't want it too heavy. So we can get that ready, and if we have a band, let's go ahead and grab it. We're going to use that. That's always an option, but I'm actually going to use it today as well. So let's get that party started. Let's warm up. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're going to start marching our opposite elbow towards our knee, working on that brain chemistry. Those hemispheres communicating with one another. Hopefully we're enjoying the fall weather here. Have my sliding glass door open, feeling that breeze. Get outside as long as we are comfortable with that. 20 seconds. Might still need some sunscreen, but that sun is past the equator heading down south. 10 more seconds. And we made it. Fantastic job. Let's use that chair next. We're going to do our thoracic open. So, don't forget water. We need to make sure we're hydrated too. Let's have our hands on the chair here. We're going to step back with one leg. Remember that hand stays grounded. We're opening up to the other side with our chest and returning to standing. Let's keep it going. So left hand, left leg goes back. Right hand, right leg goes back. Opening our chest, stretching our hips and our thoracic spine. Great way to warm up that body. This one reminds me of bringing on a washcloth. Sometimes I feel like a washcloth getting a little tight. Gets things back and mobile. Keep it up. 9 seconds. And we made it. Good job. Now, let's get the band on. If we need to sit down to put our band on, again, it can be at our knees, at our ankles, or even at the balls of the feet. I'm going to demonstrate it at the balls of the feet for our side steps, but our zigzags, those are at our ankles, which we'll do in a moment. So we're going to get the band around. And remember, the focus is having our hips back, that chest lifted, looking up. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're stepping side to side, keeping tension on that band. So we're making sure we don't step so close that we lose that tension like this. I lost that tension. We want to keep our feet somewhat far apart. So we're working the side that is stepping out, but also that retreating side. And if we can move slower, especially as we retreat that leg, then we work that side even more. Remember, trying to keep our hips down. It's good to adjust from time to time. 13 seconds. Good. 8 more. Feel in that burn. I picked my thickest band. Oh yeah. Good job. Now we're going to do our zigzags. So it's just like before. Now we need them on our ankles if they're not already there. We're going to have our hips back, and this is where it changes. We go side to side, basically in and out at 45 degrees. We'll tap the root. Same premise though, making sure we don't bring our feet so close that we lose that tension. That's a big focus. Trying to get as much out of it as we can. Great way to warm up those hips, help to stabilize our knees, our back. Keep it going. 12 more seconds. 2 more. And we made it. Good job. Awesome. So, next up, let's do our tree. Let's check in with that balance. Feeling nice and warm. Hands on that chair, and that leg's grounded. One next to the chair. Get another leg up, either at our ankle, at our calf, or remember, we've been working on this for a while, and if you're able to get it above your knee while still keeping your hips square, not dumping the hip to the side, then you are more than welcome to. And it can stay there. It can be in the center of our chest, maybe both hands, or maybe we're trying to reach to the sun. I'm a big fan of wearing colors. Help bring you energy. So, excuse my bright yellow shirt. Hopefully you like it. If you've fallen out of it like I knew I was about to, you can get back in. Oh, we made it. There we go. Let's switch sides now. Awesome. So, other side. Here we go. Finding that place. And being mindful of our hips, making sure they're square to the front. We're not getting one hip out of alignment. Doing great. Got 20 more seconds. Almost through. 10 more. Good job. All right. So, let's get a sip of water. We're going to do a little hybrid of things today. Sometimes we keep things in the upper body, keep things in the lower body. We're going to combine them all today. So we're going to start off with some side planks. And I don't know if we've actually done side planks. I don't think so. But it's very similar to what we have done before. So what I recommend is to use a wall or the kitchen counter. We're going to eventually work to the chair, to the floor with this, but we have our hands as such. I'll get down on the floor in a minute, but then we're going to open up to the side. So we are weight bearing on one arm. This is kind of similar to our shoulder taps, but we are going to rotate a little bit more, and we can even stack the feet. So I'll show you when I'm on the floor with that. All right, so we're going to do this alternating for a minute, back and forth. As always, quality over quantity. So if you're fatiguing, feel free to rest and take a breather. So here we go. We're basically in a push-up position, and we're going to alternate from side to side. So I mentioned you can stack the feet like this if you want. If you're standing, it's a little awkward to stack the feet. So if you're on the wall or a kitchen counter, don't feel like you have to. And even here, I'm not. So one leg is kind of in front of the other. And that's a good segue into that core alignment, keeping our hips in line with our shoulders, with our ankles, not letting it dip down. Keep it up. The floor is always an option too, if any of you would like. And time. We made it. Good job. So this next one, we're going to use both of our weights, and we're only going to do these for 30 seconds. And the reason is we're doing a hybrid move. We're going to do our scaption, where we're actively squeezing our shoulder blades down as we lift our hands to shoulder height. But we're doing it in a split squat isometric. And split squat isometrics get that heart a pumping. So we don't have to do it in a split squat isometric. We can do tall kneeling, we can do standing, or even just a regular split squat with that knee up as opposed to bent. But we're going to try it. So it'll be 30 seconds. And I'm going to first do it forward, then to the side so you can see how that knee is. We want to try to have our thigh and shin in the front and in the back at 90 degrees. So let's get into position. Have our feet shoulder width, sliding that leg back, bending that knee. I'm hovering. My knee's not on the floor, and I'm lifting this up and down. So we're exhaling up, inhaling down. Feeling that burn in those quads around that knee. Nice and strong. Keep it up. Almost through. One more. Good job. So, I'm sure we loved that. I felt so good. So we're going to do it again for 30 seconds. This time we're going to have the other leg in the back. So I had a right knee in the back before. It's my left knee is going to be in the back. So here I am, stepping back, then bending that knee nice and tall, and building that strength. Front leg, back leg. Feeling that burn. Now, if this is too much, like I said, we can be just here in a high crescent lunge, or even that heel planted for our warrior 3. And time. Good job. Nice. So, get a sip of water, because even though we're not moving those legs, you felt that heart pumping. You felt that blood in the joint. Awesome. So, what we're going to do next is a hinged rear fly. That shoulder abduction, where we have our weights, and we're going to bring our butt back to the hip hinge. We'll bend our knees just a little bit. Checking out my spine, nice and straight, in line with my low back, my middle back, and my head. We're going to bring our arms out to the side like a T. We're going to do this one for a minute. This is pretty tough, so definitely using light weights. All right, in position, here we go. We want to make sure we're bringing our arms down next to each other. And so not just down by our side, but right in front. Again, if we're thinking about that breathing pattern, it's exhaling up, inhaling on our way down. And time. Good job. Let's get a sip of that water. Moving the feet around. Okay, so we can set our weights to the side. We're going to go into a little series, our half moon series. So opening up, using the chair, this is going to help mobilize and strengthen that hip. We're going to do it's kind of like a windshield wiper for our hips. We're opening up into a bouncing half moon with our hips to the side. We're going to rotate all the way through. So let's get into that position. We're taking an inhale, lowering our torso down. We can have both hands on the chair, on the seat itself, or one up top. So right now my hips are pointing down. I'm going to open my hips up to the right. Again, my left leg is planted, bringing it back down to the floor. And now I'm going to rotate to the left. So this is a little more strengthening, while over here, a little more opening. Let's think about that elevated leg. It is active. That heel is pressing out, keeping that glute engaged. And it's as if I'm standing on it, meaning my foot is flexed at 90 degrees. I'm not pointing, I'm not bringing my toes in too far. Back and forth, almost through. And finishing it up. And time. Good job. So now the right leg is going to be grounded, and then we're going to open up to the left, then rotate to the right, getting that hip mobilized. Getting ready. We're going to inhale that torso down. We're exhaling, hips opening up to the right, and then to the left and then to the right. So we open up our balancing half moon to the left, bring our hips squared back down to the floor, and then rotating to the right, a little more weight bearing and strength through that right hip. Good job. So think about those hands that can help us. When we're rotating to the right, our left hand is down, the right hand is up. When we're rotating to the left, that right hand is down, that left hand is up. It just feels more natural for me. It might for you as well. More support. Nice, good job. Awesome. So let's get a sip of that water, getting that blood flowing through there. What we're going to do next is really emphasize our shoulders and our posture. So we're going to be in our crescent lunge position, that high lunge, or if we feel more comfortable, again, that heel can be planted. I personally, I think my hip anatomy, the internal rotation of my hip, I like to have my heel up. You might like to have your hip down. So when we're in this position, we're going to be squeezing our shoulder blades back, that field goal, or cactus arms, and then we're going to give ourselves a nice big bear hug. So we're getting blood into our chest, which is going to help our chest opener even more. So we're going to do 30 minutes. Whoa, we're doing 30 minutes here. We're doing 30 seconds on each side. Let's get ready. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Squeezing those shoulder blades, that bear hug. Squeezing those shoulder blades, bear hug. And if we're thinking about it, let's alternate those arms when they're in the front. So right on top, right on bottom. Right on top, right on bottom. Squeezing tight. Nice, good job. Shaking it out, and we're going to switch sides. So that my right leg was in the front before, this time it's going to be the left leg in the front. Getting ready. 3, 2, 1. Cactus arms, bear hug. Cactus arms, bear hug. Back and forth. Squeeze it tight. Nice, good job. Sweet, taking a breather. We're going to go into our last exercise before we repeat them all. We're going to go into a goblet squat thruster. It's another full body movement here where we're going to hold the weight like this. Now, if we opted for something heavier, just one weight, we can as well. It's a very similar position. It's in between my hands, that weight, if you can imagine that, where we're going to be inhaling down into a squat. We're going to be exhaling, pressing up, lifting the weights up. Being careful of any fan. Let's get that party started. We're here for a minute, getting ready. 3, 2, 1. So we're inhaling, dropping down, exhaling, inhaling down, exhaling up. Staying with it. And while we're down low, if we become big fans of this goblet squat hold, we want to stay, mobilize those hips and those ankles. Feel free. Keep it up. And time. Good job. Setting our weights down, getting that water. We got our side planks coming up. All right. So again, we want to find that space, that wall, that counter, and maybe even that chair, as long as it's up against something, as long as it's stable and it's not going to move on you or the floor. My chair is totally going to move on me. So let's get into that position. It's as if we're in a push-up stance. Here we go. Again, alternating, thinking about pushing into that surface as well. That hand that's grounded, you are actively pressing into it just to feel even more stable and strong. 35 seconds. Keep it coming. Staying with it all the way through. Resting if we need to. Being true to ourselves. Nice, good job. So next up, you might close the door. There's some music outside. Hopefully you all didn't distract you. Next up, we're going to do our most favorite thing that we've done. The split squat isometrics with our shoulder scaption. I know you guys are excited. So let's have our left leg forward this time, or we'll repeat it. So left leg's forward. Again, we're about shoulder width apart. We're sliding our legs back, bending that knee. Got to start that timer. Getting ready. 3, 2, 1. Exhaling, lifting. Our hands up to shoulder height, no higher. Feeling that burn. 45 degrees is our shoulder's natural plane. So being very friendly to our shoulder right here. Nice, good job. Let's switch sides now. So we'll have our left leg in the back. Again, dropping down. Here we go. Sticking with it, almost through. And time. Nice. Awesome. I'm sure we just love that burn. It feels so good. And it's very helpful. Isometrics are one of the things that if our muscles are lagging, if they don't have that mind-muscle connection, it helps to re-educate them. It's the neuromuscular connection. So let's get our hinged rear flies going. Again, this one's a full minute. So we're getting our hips back, bending our knees a little bit, then out to the side like a T. That head stays back in line with our spine. Imagine when we have our arms out wide, we are just flying along those thermals, lifting up those hawks and falcons, taking in the sights below. Keep it up nice and strong. If we could be any animal, what would it be? A bird is my second choice. A peregrine falcon. Fastest animal on the planet. And time. Good job. Nice. So next up, we have our water break. Then we're going to go into our half moons. My number one animal, for a long time, was a cheetah. I still love cheetahs. But after having a dog, that'd be pretty nice to be a dog in a loving family. That'd be amazing. Okay, so let's get our openers and our stability going for those hips. It's on the left leg grounded. Here we go. Coming on down, opening our hips up. So my left leg is grounded, pointing my hips to the right, and then rotating towards the left. Again, opening up to the right. Squaring back down to the floor, opening up to the left. Now that grounded knee can be bent. Working a little more knee stability. Because if it's locked out, we're just sacking our joints. We're not working our muscles that help stabilize the knee. Nice, keep it up. Finishing to the other side, and time. Good work. Now we're going to have the right leg grounded. And again, opening up to the left, more stability as we rotate to the right. So we're inhaling, coming down, opening up to the left, and then opening up to the right. Now we do have an option. As this gets easier, we don't have to have our hands on the chair. You are always welcome to challenge yourself as so, but feel free to have a hand nearby. In yoga, we use blocks or a chair, and they're just an extension of our body. That's all props are. So using that prop as we need to. Almost through. Finishing up, opening, then stabilizing on the right. Good job. Now let's get our cactus arms and bear hugs going. We'll have one leg forward, doesn't matter which one, and then again we have 30 seconds on these. Getting ready, 3, 2, 1, here we go. Squeezing, hugging, squeezing, hugging, keep it up. And we can alternate. Ten seconds. And time. Awesome sauce. Let's switch sides. So I just had my right leg forward. This time left is in the front. Here we go. Bear hug, inward squeeze. Keep it up, almost through. Nice, good job. Last little bit, our goblet squat thrusters. Finishing strong. It's probably one of my favorite exercises. It's a whole body movement. It reminds me of an awesome 6 months in my life. Lake Johnson in Raleigh, if any of you have been there. One time a storm knocked down this tree and I turned it into thrusters. So I would grab it here, just like these weights. And we're going to start, I'll keep telling my story. 3, 2, 1. So I grab it here, I would stand up and then press it up. It was awesome. And it was like that for, man, probably 4 or 5 months. But over time, it decayed. And I remember one day, because I would run the trail at Lake Johnson. I would stop there, do some thrusters. And one day I was doing it, and I pressed it up, and then it cracked, gave way. The lever shortened, so it got easier. It cracked, I guess, midway or something. But man, I was so disheartened. Very sad, because it was so fun. Almost through. Keep it up. This can be our tree. I felt so primal, like a hunter-gatherer or a caveman. It was cool. Awesome. We made it. Let's get some water. And we'll stretch it out. Yeah, that was a fun 4 to 6 months. Yeah, that was awesome. So, we're going to use our chair and we're going to stretch it out. Down dog style. Both hands on our chair, walking our feet back, hips back. Sinking that chest, still keeping our head lifted. Or if we don't have any issues in terms of our vestibular system, like vertigo, we can drop it. It's good to drop that head, which challenges that vestibular system as long as we are not experiencing negative symptoms. Good job. Let's place our left hand on top of our right hand as we stretch that left upper back. Good. Placing the left hand back on the chair. Now that right hand on top of the left and that right side now. bringing our hand back to where it was, slowly lifting ourselves up, and then bringing one foot forward as we stretch that back calf. So right now our knee is straight, driving that heel towards the floor. And now let's bend that back knee, getting more of our soleus as opposed to our calf. Well done. Let's switch sides. So again, driving that heel towards the floor, stretching our calf. Good. Let's bend that knee now. Well done. Let's make our way to our chair. We're going to sit on the edge of our chair as we bring one foot forward. We're going to stretch our hamstrings. So I'm only turning so you can see my whole leg. Inhaling nice and tall, and we're hinging forward. Notice that spine. I'm not rounding, keeping my chest lifted. That is pivotal. Good job. Inhaling up and switching sides. Toes in, lifting that torso, then exhaling forward. Awesome. Inhaling up. Let's get our hips on, bringing one foot up, trying to get it above our knee if we're able, and then gently bringing that knee down, gravity, or our hand. We're inhaling up and exhaling just a little forward. Awesome. And inhaling back up. And then let's grab that knee. Let's hug it in towards our chest, stretching that outer hip and glute. Perfect. Releasing it down and switching. Now, it's okay if our ankle is here. We can place our hand by it and get a little bit of that hip there. I know knee flexion can be challenging after like a knee replacement. So, stretching out that hip. Well done. Inhaling up. And then exhaling, hugging that in. Good job. Releasing it down. And then let's bring our hands to the back of our chair and inhaling, lifting that chest tall, trying to stretch the front of our body, upper chest, our shoulders. And the higher we can get our hands, the better. Just leaning forward, stretching our pecs, our shoulders. Good job. This is a very important stretch because we can relax. In our lives, we often don't get our arms behind us. Swimmers do. So if you're using the pool, that is helpful. But shoulder extension is a range of motion we want to make sure we maintain. Awesome. Let's now find the back of our chair. The ever sweetness of being finished with exercise. All that movement, all that extra blood flowing. It helps us make ourselves stronger and more resilient. But it's this time here that's the most crucial. When we do strength training, when we even do cardio, we are putting stress on the body, but stress is good. Stress helps us be more, but we need that recovery time to help rebuild those muscles. So let's get in touch with our breath. Let's bring one hand on our chest, the other on our belly. Let's focus on some deep belly breaths here. Letting it rise and fall. And if we feel comfortable, we're welcome to stay here in this position, working on the breath. Or if we would be more comfortable, lying down, either on the floor or our bed, finding that place now. I invite you to spend 5, 10, even 15 minutes here with your breath, developing that personal relationship with the breath practice. Just imagining the ocean waves, just like our breath, the rise and the fall, as if we were floating in the salty sea, working on longer breaths, pushing the edge ever so softly. Before you know it, our natural pace of breath, we're not trying to control it. When it happens automatically, it too will be longer and deeper, having less breaths per minute, reducing our stress, getting more in tune with our natural breathing pattern, just like a baby. So continuing with this, thank you all for joining me as always. The light in me recognizes light in you. Namaste.